Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Thank you for tuning in tonight. I'm Scott Beadle, in for Ann Emanuel. Ithaca police are looking for information on a stabbing that left one man dead. They say the stabbing occurred Monday on the 100 block of Chestnut Street. According to the Ithaca Police Department, 37-year-old Zacharias Moore was in grave condition when officers arrived. Moore was taken to a local hospital where he later passed away from his injuries. A suspect has been identified but has not yet been charged. Schuyler County will have a new emergency medical service at the start of the new year. Big Fox's Josh Feldberg sounds the alarm on the launch of the service.
Schuyler County and Cayuga Health are teaming up to form a new emergency system as Schuyler Emergency Medical Service. The operation will officially launch January 2nd, 2023.
It's traditional EMS services. If someone has a medical complaint, they would call 911. That would go through a dispatch, and then our services, under the banner of the county, would respond in a pre-hospital manner, bring patients to the appropriate level of care in coordination with members of the hospital community.
The focus of the service is to quicken response times, provide higher quality care, and higher operational efficiency between the medics in the field and hospital personnel.
Schuyler is a very rural county. That means that there may be more response time naturally with the same number of ambulances, and so we're strategically calculating where to pre-position those ambulances. The name of the game is reaching patients faster, because time is heart, time is brain, time leads to better clinical outcomes. But another important part is how closely coordinated the EMTs and paramedics are with the hospital teams.
Schuyler EMS ambulances will be dispatched through the County 911 system from stations in Watkins Glen, Odessa, and Tyrone.
We look forward to opportunities like this where we can serve the community. I want to thank the Schuyler County legislators, as well as the Schuyler County Administrator, Fonda Cronus. We have had a great partnership through COVID, where we've done a lot of community-oriented tasks together, keeping the community safe, incidents low, residents having good outcomes, and so this is an extension of that relationship that's been forged over the last few years.
An open house ribbon-cutting ceremony is planned for late January. The event will allow the community to see the rigs and meet the staff. Josh Feldberg, Big Fox News, Schuyler County.
Waverly officials are considering raising parking ticket fees to try and crack down on overnight parking. The village is developing a map to help enforce the rules downtown. Officials plan to meet in January to review the regulations. And in related news, parking garages in Ithaca will be free through December 26. High food prices continue to hit the pocketbook. Inflation across the board does appear to be slowing, but food costs are still up. One of the highest increases is in the price of eggs, which has jumped about 50% since this time last year. That's according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Along with eggs, prices for other kitchen staples are also much higher than last year. Flour is up 25%, milk 15%, and butter is up 27%. All that means your holiday feasts are going to be a lot more expensive than ever this year. Today, our Maggie Hall spoke with Dr. Heather Burst, a pet expert, to get some holiday safety guidelines for our pets this season.
It's easy to get caught up in the holiday cheer. So today we're going to bring you a holiday pet safety guide so you and your furry friend can enjoy the holidays together.
Hey, get out of there! Stop! No! No, don't worry about it, Clark. Little tree water ain't gonna hurt him.
Despite what Cousin Eddie says, real Christmas trees and their water can be harmful to pets.
If you have a real tree, like the pine needles dropping on the ground and the dogs eating them, can cause an obstruction, can cause, where they get blocked and they vomit. Drinking the water in the tree can cause problems.
A tight-fitting tree skirt or even a mini fence around your tree is a simple solution to this. Another harmful holiday decoration is tinsel.
Our cats, for some odd reason, tend to love eating tinsel. And it's scary because it causes a really serious obstruction, and they sometimes need surgery, and it can be real serious.
A Christmas decoration to keep out of reach of pets is the poinsettia.
One other thing I think I would mention is getting a dog or cat as a Christmas present. But one thing is you really, really, really do not want to surprise somebody with a pet as a Christmas present.
Before getting anyone a pet for Christmas, talk it over with them and make sure that they are emotionally and financially ready for an animal. Call your primary veterinarian or local animal hospital with any holiday concerns about your animals. Happy holidays and Merry Christmas to you and your pets. Maggie Hall, Big Fox News, Corning.
The Elmira Police Department was out with local kids for the Shop with the Cop program. Children chosen by their schools are able to shop for presents at Target. Santa even showed up to take pictures with the officers and kids. Everyone who took part in the event this past Saturday was a volunteer. A dramatic ending in the House Select Committee's investigation into the January 6th Capitol riot. Malda Rivera reports.
After 10 public hearings, more than 1,000 interviews, and more than 1 million documents collected, the House Select Committee wraps up its investigation into the January 6th Capitol riot.
I mean, it's a waste of time, a waste of taxpayers' money, and now that they've got their time on television, we can get back to working for the American people.
Republican lawmakers on Capitol Hill plowing ahead tonight and focusing on the future, hours after the stunning conclusion of the House Select Committee's investigation into the January 6th uprising nearly 2 years ago. The committee voting to refer former President Trump to the Department of Justice on several criminal charges. Those charges included inciting an insurrection, obstruction of an official proceeding, and conspiracy to defraud the United States.
Nobody before, much less a president, had ever come so close to overthrowing a presidential election and bypassing the Constitution.
The referral itself is mostly symbolic. The DOJ will ultimately decide whether to prosecute Trump. Democrats, however, are hopeful it happens, since the DOJ has expressed interest in the committee's work as they work on their own separate investigation.
No one should get a pass.
Meanwhile, in a slew of posts on his website Truth Social, Trump condemned the committee's referral. Trump calling the charges fake and saying, quote, "What doesn't kill me makes me stronger." The former president also accusing Democrats of trying to derail his election campaign, an issue some Republicans think won't be a problem.
They're going to keep him in the news, which is probably good for President Trump, to have his name out there, good or bad publicity.
The committee's full report is expected to be released Wednesday. In Washington, Malda Rivera, Fox News.
Your complete forecast is next. Plus,
from swimming with the sharks to riding a motorcycle, it's Santa like you've never seen him before. I'm Jackie Ibanez with all that and much more straight ahead.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Well, all is calm for now, but we will be keeping a very close eye on a weekend winter storm that is going to bring impacts to some of that holiday travel. Now, note that through the overnight, we stay under some of those quiet skies. Watch temperatures fall back into those teens as we do fall to about 17 into Elmira, 19 into Wayland, to about 19 into Westfield. So slightly cooler than what's average for this time of the year as we'll stay under this clear and calm sky. But note that we still have some warming that is in place as we see that conditions do stay quiet yet again for our Wednesday. But Wednesday is going to be prep day as we will be gearing up for this system as it is already starting to bring some impacts across portions of the western portions of the state. It will move into the central portions of the state into Wednesday and Thursday and then ride its way up the East Coast from this Thursday forecast into the weekend. So starting on Thursday, running into Friday, we will have some warm, windy, and rainy conditions move in at least through Friday. Friday morning. Then starting Friday, there will be some rapid cooling, which could cause for a flash freeze, as well as see that our rainy weather will turn over to some snow showers. So really high impact setting up for that big travel weekend ahead. So with even seeing that the system's holding off through Friday, there's still going to be widespread travel impacts, especially if it's by air, when there is this storm that is going to be bringing very high impacts to the western and central portions of the states. Now, when we look at our Wednesday forecast, all is quiet and local travel is good, as we have some sunshine and high temperatures just around those mid-30s, where we should be at this time of the year, as average is about 37 degrees. Now, into that Thursday forecast, we'll start to bring in some of that rainfall, as temperatures will be warm enough to keep it strictly rainfall at onset, with temperatures around 40 degrees for a high temperature. But starting Thursday, you also note that winds are going to start to pick up. We're looking at wind potential even getting upwards of already 30 miles per hour on Thursday, and then will be even stronger from Thursday night into Friday, especially when we are going to be bringing in that big switch in the temperature trend. So note that travel will just be difficult even with the wind gust potential. Wet roads, and then wet roads leading to some flash freezing is going to create some dangerous conditions. On top of that, the winds are not only just increasing with that passage, but stay strong even into the rest of the weekend forecast, which is going to bring with some snow showers, some low visibility, and tricky travel. So with those winds getting strong, you may see some wind alerts, but also potentially some of those winter alerts as well. So we do have warming even with that rainy weather through Friday, with a high of even 45 degrees. A little bit of some snowy weather on the backside of the system. Not expecting significant accumulation, but we'll keep an eye on it. However, look at the drop from 45 to 8 degrees by Saturday morning, when many may be traveling for the holiday. We'll stay in under a below average temperature trend through the holiday weekend, with some improvements next week.
Welfare pays more than work in some states. The government launches a probe into Hertz rental cars. The new Avatar movie can't reverse Disney's recent slump, and the consumer group keeping the toy industry afloat. CJ Papa has today's business briefs.
A new study finds families on welfare can out-earn working families. In 14 states, a family of 4 with 2 unemployed adults can get $80,000 a year in benefits, and in Washington, Massachusetts, and New Jersey, those benefits can equal a $100,000 salary. The federal government is investigating whether Hertz rented recalled cars to customers without repairing them. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration revealed the probe in a filing made public this week. It has opened an audit query to seek more information. Disney shares dropped following a weaker than expected opening box office weekend for Avatar: The Way of Water. On Monday, shares plummeted by 4%, marking a 52-week low. The company's stock has fallen more than 40% in the past year. Analysts anticipated Avatar to perform well, but it raked in $134 million in comparison to Disney's projected $150 million. And the toy industry should say thank you to the adults that are still kids at heart. Kidults are responsible for a fourth of all toy sales. That's $9 billion, according to new data from the NPD Group. It defines kidults as people 12 or older. That's business. I'm CJ Papa.
Wells Fargo will pay billions to resolve allegations against the bank. It's been working for years to clear up the fallout of its fake account scandal and its practices in its mortgage and auto lending businesses. Now it has a $3.7 billion deal to resolve allegations from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. It includes a $1.7 billion penalty and more than $2 billion to be returned to customers. The Bureau says the bank illegally charged fees and interest, and some people even had their cars illegally repossessed. From deep diving with sharks to revving the engine of a Harley-Davidson, this year, Santa is going all out before he gets to work delivering presents. Jackie Ibanez takes a special look.
These aren't your average Santas. With just days until Christmas, people around the world are taking inspiration from the jolly old man in red and spreading holiday cheer in unique ways. At aquariums in Japan and Malta, Santas recently swapped their sleighs for scuba gear, diving underwater to feed everything from sharks to fish and even dolphins.
It was good to enjoy an early taste of Christmas, although it did feel strange seeing Santa in the water.
In Italy, hundreds of cycling Santas spent the weekend riding around Rome. Sunday's excursion raised money for a charity providing relief to sick kids at a nearby hospital. Meanwhile, Santas in Tokyo opted for more horsepower as hundreds jumped on their Harley-Davidson motorcycles for an event calling for an end to child abuse.
I want to give wonderful smiles to children and dreams for their futures. I want to continue this activity to tell society that child abuse should not happen.
But not all Santas move on wheels. The streets of Venezuela's capital were flooded with Santas taking part in a 10K fun run Sunday. In Lebanon, a similar scene with roughly 500 people participating in a charity race for a children's cancer center. But now Santa is preparing for the biggest challenge of all, delivering millions of presents around the world. On Christmas Eve, you can track his journey in real time by visiting the North American Aerospace Defense Command site.
An early and fast-track flu season, COVID-19 and RSV continue impacting the nation, causing stock of children's cold and flu medication to go empty. We have details coming up. As we head into the holiday weekend, doctors are warning parents and caregivers about accidental cannabis overdoses among children. Anthony Ponce has more on this story.
So a lot of the kids actually end up getting sick. Some of them get admitted to the ICU.
In 2017, just 3 children were hospitalized in Cook County after unknowingly ingesting cannabis edibles. By 2021, that number spiked to 124, with the most common age range being between 2 and 3 years old.
If you think about one gummy may have 10 milligrams of THC, an adult dose, but what child is going to eat just one gummy? Right? They'll eat the entire bag, the 100 milligrams, 500 milligrams, which are gargantuan amounts.
He says those overdoses can lead to hospital stays of up to 2 days. In extreme cases, the children have seizures and need to be put on a breathing machine. More commonly, they show what doctors call a depressed mental status.
They're lethargic, they're somnolent, they're hard to wake up. They may have trouble walking and falling over.
He strongly urges parents to store edibles away from the kitchen, high up and out of reach, in boring packages that will not entice a child.
It is remarkable that the increase that we've seen since legalization versus after legalization, and as it increases across from 30 states to 50 states or whatever the number is, we're going to see more of these cases across the nation.
If your child is sick and requires some over-the-counter relief, you may have to visit multiple pharmacies to find them the medicine that they need. Jackie Ibanez takes a look at what's causing some children's medications to fly off the shelves.
Tylenol, ibuprofen flying off the shelves.
Across the country, a number of children's over-the-counter medicines are getting harder and harder to find, with supplies of pain and fever reducers at many pharmacies dramatically low or out of stock.
I'm certain it's going to be scary for a lot of parents to face.
The root of the problem? Health officials are blaming this year's early and fast-tracked flu season, along with COVID-19 and an uptick in respiratory illnesses like RSV, for impacting the supplies.
It's very difficult to tell a parent that you don't have medications which they truly need.
Infant Tylenol, children's Tylenol, but we're running out of that as well, unfortunately. We bought like 3-4 cases. We're almost done with our last case, actually.
When it comes to children's Tylenol, officials at Johnson & Johnson say while they're witnessing high demand, the company isn't experiencing widespread shortages, but notes the medicine may be scarce at some retailers.
It was a challenge. Yeah, so we kind of resorted to like cough drops for kids versus medicine.
Some pediatricians worry the problem may persist throughout the winter. The scant supply has CVS pharmacies issuing a 2-product limit on all kids' pain relievers. Health officials are urging parents not to give their children adult medications and reminding them that generic versions work just as well.
Well, the end of December is well known as the most wonderful time of the year, but doctors say it also is when heart attacks are most likely to occur. In a report, a cardiologist says heart attack rates rise in the last 2 weeks of December, and that's due to stress, cold weather, and falling out of healthy habits. The rate increase is as much as 40%. As the holidays approach, doctors recommend monitoring for symptoms of a heart attack, such as heavy breathing or crushing pressure in the chest for men, and shortness of breath or major fatigue for women. Stay with us. We've got more after the break. And as always, we want to leave you with a smile. Get this, Google releases its list of the most popular Christmas cookie in each state. Google's map is based on searches between December 3rd and 9th. Gingerbread was the top cookie in 7 states and Washington, D.C. In second place, peanut butter cookies, which were popular in 7 states. And 6 states searched for Italian Christmas cookies, followed by sugar cookies. I'm Harriet Wallace. Thanks for watching.